And hey, folks, and welcome to the Crusaders of Light live stream.
What's up?
I am Eric Ocho Cleaver, community guy here at NetEase, and with me I have Johnny RedPanda Liu, also on the community team. And today we are talking fishing, maybe some cooking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fishing is just so much more visual.
It's
So much more zen.
So relaxing.
And on top of that, we are going to be answering player questions. Like SF Darkstyle just asked one, and so did Knife. So Knife
has a question about the new class that we hinted at. I'm saying we
get there.
We did hint at it before we went on break.
Did we?
We said we were doing one, dude.
I said we were working on more than one.
We said that a while ago, but then we also said a new one's coming. So technically, we're still
on the hook.
We're still on the hooks for something about it.
Okay, cool. So before we jump into questions, and I'm writing them down. So if you guys ask them in chat, cool. Note that we are going to get to them.
Yes.
But you are doing some fishing. So tell us about fishing.
I am.
Now.
So let's go ahead and switch on the screen, on the game screen. Yep. So fishing is a life skill that can be picked up when you hit level 55 and after you do the quest. You can do it in addition to the plant gathering and the ore mining. What fishing
and cooking.
And cooking, yes, because fishing and cooking kind of go hand in hand. You know, because when you catch fish, you like to eat it.
And I prefer my fish uncooked.
I like sushi too. I also like it deep fried, grilled, and
barely cooked. Just.
Like if we're talking like like a what is it, like a
tuna steak,
yeah, or like a pan-seared like tuna on a niçoise salad. That's pretty good too.
That's what I'm having Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I should see what I'm having. I may have gotten something else. Anyways, so once you pick up fishing, you'll see in your life skills, it levels up. You can get different kinds of fish, starting with some lobster.
Now
and some mussels. This is at the very first 4 you can pick.
Yeah. So your character that we're playing right now is not a beginner fisherman.
No. I'm like the best fisherman in this current world of Milura, which I am the only fisherman, so therefore I'm also the best.
Congratulations,
Number 1.
Hey, if you're going to do anything, do it right.
Yep. So as you level up, you'll be able to fish other kinds of fish as you go on and up. And every level, you'll be able to click on this fishing spot detection, and it'll take you to where you can go fish. So, for example, you'll see a little fish here, and then you click on there, and it'll take you there.
Let's go.
All right. You could also do that by clicking on this little button over here. Sometimes it'll just randomly show you a couple. So we're going to go pick up some other ones.
Okay. So while we're running to the next fishing hole, let's take the first player question, which is from Elena Hansen. Came in through Facebook.
Yep.
And she asks, I thought you were fixing Gylfi. So were we fixing Gylfi?
We made him easier to be defeated.
Yes.
He wasn't exactly broken. He may have been too strong for a lot of our players based off the feedback.
And data,
data.
We saw it. He wasn't getting killed at quite the rates we wanted, but we do intend him to be a challenge.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be easy. He's not supposed to be somebody you can go out and solo. You're supposed to need a group.
Yeah.
This is an MMO, so it's
massively multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it's multiplayer, and defeating Gylfi also gives you access to leveling up your legendaries. So you kind of wanted the reward to match with the challenge, right? In the sense of, I did this so I can make my legendaries even better. I'll get a couple more questions that we will add on.
That name makes me really uncomfortable. That Pandizzle?
Yeah, it's all right. We'll just
team assist. Okay, so... Okay, team assist... Scaling. Okay, keep going.
Yep. Okay.
We were talking about Gylfi.
Yep. Gylfi. So, let me just. I really want to fish right now. Just let me catch a couple of fish. So when you walk over to the fishing pool, I don't know. Let me just redo it real quick. You can click on it. You'll get a cast. You can also just sit there and let it auto cast for you. And then, like most fish, you have to wait for it to jump up and take the bait so you can grab it. So when it pops up, you can click N on it if you want, or you can just let it run out. So this is really great for just being more relaxing. And that's basically what happens to me in real life, right? I'll try to pull a fish out, and I don't get any. So while I'm fishing, we adjust the gill fee. Right now, I believe from what I'm seeing, a lot of players are able to complete it at a decent rate. So we're going to take a look at the data and see how it goes. Oh, look, I caught a flying elf fish.
I wonder if it has big ears.
I don't know. Let's take a look.
It does have huge ears.
Or is that the flying fish thing? I don't know. Maybe those are its ears. Who knows?
They look like ears.
They look like ears.
You know, they're even if they're not functional ears, because I mean it's a fish.
Yeah.
Its ears should not look like ears.
Yeah. I didn't learn the cooking skill yet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool. Anyways, there we go.
Yep.
But you know, it's elf-like. It's reminiscent of elf.
Yeah. But we're gonna keep looking. We're gonna keep track of gill fee and the clear rates and the progression of the players through it, and make adjustments based off of feedback and data, if the team feels like it's necessary.
So you actually have now completed gill fee.
Yes.
You know, you were not able to before the change, and after the change you were able to, or
yes.
maybe you did it like right after the change.
I did it right after the change because I did it right when it came out, and I got my butt kicked really, really bad. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait till I level up and get some better gear. I was working on my gear, and then when the change came through, I was like, okay, I think with the combination of me getting more gear and the adjustment to gill fee, I might be able to do a little bit better against him. So I was able to get a group and was able to defeat him.
Okay, we're gonna talk about blueprints in a little bit, guys. So don't stress there. And Fives, hi.
Hey Fives, how's it going?
He jumped into chat and said hi. So we're writing the questions down. You know, we got a lot to get through, so we got some time. So next up, Cody Smith's asking about support. He evidently has had a ticket that's been in for longer than he feels comfortable, and realistically longer than we would like as well. So support has been busier than usual recently. Unfortunately, what happens is that a bunch of tickets come in at once. They stack up if it's more than support can address realistically in a short period of time. And then you get a backlog. And the amount of tickets coming in produced a substantial backlog.
Yes.
Now, customer support has sort of gone over the hump of the problem.
Yeah.
The backlog is decreasing faster than it is growing. But that does mean that right now tickets are taking longer than we like. We are not okay with how long tickets are taking.
Definitely
We're working on getting it addressed as much as possible. We certainly appreciate how patient many people have been. I know that I get very angry when my problems do not get resolved as quickly as I would like. So certainly we can understand the frustration that people have shown. We are trying to fix this.
Yes.
Also, this is one of the most frequently discussed topics in the office. How can we help the customer service team more? How can we help them take care of you
in a more timely fashion and more satisfactory fashion?
So we're working on it.
Yes.
We're not happy with where it is, but we're moving in the right direction. Hopefully we will get to Cody's ticket soon.
And everyone else's ticket.
And everybody else's. It's super important. You know, I've heard some really rough stories. We're also working on some behind-the-scenes changes to make it easier for our customer service team to take care of these things faster. So, you know, certainly somebody, Wakayama, has said, that's too long. We don't want you to be waiting that long. So we're working on it. Apologize. That's not cool. And we're trying to do better. Okay.
It's definitely a conversation we've been having a lot.
Okay. So let's talk about the one that everybody is interested in. Blueprints. You know, blueprints are super important because you need legendaries. Mm-hmm. Not just for the legendaries themselves, but to make legendaries better.
Yes.
This is important, right? And now that people aren't getting as many low-level blueprints, that means that there's less chance to get legendaries. You can't get legendaries from level 40 blueprint. You can from level 30. And people want to know, how can we get supply? Now, some supply is coming in from lower level people. You know, people who haven't hit 55. They can still get level 30 blueprints. There are people joining the game every day who are getting blueprints and putting them in the trading house. It's a benefit for them because they're suddenly worth more.
Yes.
Since there's less of them, they're getting more gold. People who want to craft lots of blueprints are having less gold. So it's overall an issue that we're very, very aware of. You know, we're talking about different ways of solving it. Now, one way would be making it so that you could get more legendaries, you know, maybe through level 40 blueprints or whatever we decide the right solution is to break down for those materials. Another thing would be changing how many of those materials are required. You know, but we're certainly aware of the issue that people have with getting the materials they want to keep progressing, and we are working on future changes that will address this.
Yep, there are definitely multiple ways to solve this challenge, and we're getting lots of great feedback from all of the players, and we're definitely trying to weigh our options to see which one we think is the way we want to go.
Yeah. We should go back to fishing, man.
Yeah, so I realized that I did not level cooking on this character, so I would need to go and fish up some older stuff. Speaking of, I need to go to Item Mall and buy myself some lobsters with minced garlic. Man, now I'm hungry. I just had lunch.
That is a lot of silver. Somebody was talking to me in chat about how much silver things take and how they always feel poor. And I'm like, tell me about it as I try and make more diamonds to break down to make better diamonds.
Oh, yeah, like, you just blow through that. But it's really good for improving your character when you're not getting lucky with drops, right? Definitely silver is very advantageous in crafting diamonds and helping with your stats. Make sure you have enough health and defense, because you can't do anything if you're dead. So let's go try to catch the lobster, and then we can.
You like the lobster? You're from Boston.
I am from Boston. I love lobster.
Not originally, but at some point you were living in Boston.
I lived in Boston for 10 years.
Yeah. So you love the lobster.
I love the lobster. And Patriots. Go Patriots.
Well, one of us loves the Patriots. We both love lobster. Where's the best place in Boston for you to get seafood?
Oh, man. Dude, Neptune Oyster is really, really good.
That's down right on the wharf, isn't it?
No. Neptune Oyster, is that the one? Or is it called Union Oyster? There's Union Oyster House. No, there's Neptune Oyster. It's down in near the giant Sitco sign. I don't go in the city that much. I actually live right outside the city because parking in Boston's kind of a pain. But they had this, like, lobster linguine. You get, like, a raw bar. You get, like, one of those tower things. So good.
Years ago, I threw a press event for a video game I was working on at Legal Seafood. So we invited a bunch of press there, and, you know, we needed a place. The office wasn't in Boston, so we rented out one of the Legal Seafood locations, like, at an off time. And they catered it. Like, all the seafood I could eat. It was, like, disgusting.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I'm not a small guy. I can eat a lot of seafood.
Yes.
Okay. So, for Fox's sake, asks a question that somebody else has asked as well. So let me see who that was. Petrick Gergo asked on Facebook, buy or forge legendary weapons. Which one is better, stronger? Or is there no difference? And for Fox's sake asked, will crafted legendaries that get emerged be the same as buyable legendaries, meaning can a crafted legendary which emerged be able to refine L sets? Now, we're not sure exactly which sets can or can't get L sets. We've seen a lot of arguments put forth by players, but we haven't seen the evidence. And this is nested really deep in code and data sets in a way that, as, you know, community team guys, we're really not comfortable. So we're aware of the question. We're working to get an answer from the developers, but it's not something we can go look at the answer ourselves. I can't just go look at the data set and say, oh, this can turn up in this case, because that's not how it's structured. It's not that easy in the code to be able to know. But definitely we want to get an answer on the L sets and whether or not they can go on which legendaries.
Yeah.
So we don't have an answer for you today, for Fox's sake. I really can't say that name fast. And
that's the point of his name.
Of course it's the point of his name, but, you know, I've been trying to say for Fox. You know, really get that
Why don't we just say Fox then?
Okay, we're just going to say Fox. We're trying to get that answer for you, Fox. We just need a little bit more time. When we do, we'll put it up on the forums, and I'll drop it in Discord because I am 99% certain that you are there. Okay, so I will make a note. Post. Cool.
Oh, I just realized I'm using a lot of stamina to fish, and I need a lot of lobster, and I'm nowhere near close to getting the 30 lobsters I need to cook. And then you also need stamina to cook, because it's tiring. Cooking's tiring, man. Fishing's also kind of tiring. Yeah, so we'll see how much fish I get, but right now my stamina is starting to run a little bit low, and I'm not getting enough lobster.
Real question. Do you know the hacks to get more stamina?
I do not.
Okay. Unfortunately, our web producer does not know the hacks to get more stamina, so we have 88 stamina left. Use your stamina wisely, sir.
But I'll definitely put it on a list to find out.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Cool. So, next up on the question list, Danny Psychali, I'm terrible with names, from the Facebook, asked why did we decrease the drop rate of blueprints from Lords? We didn't.
As far as we know, we didn't, but we'll definitely take a look to see if anything's changed.
If we did, it's probably a bug, and we will investigate it to make sure it's not been changed. But there is no intention of doing so. Okay. So Clay Clayton, that has to be, Clay Clayton, spelled exactly the same.
Oh, it spells with a K, too.
Yeah, it's almost has to be some sort of,
Kind of a cruel joke, don't you think?
Or a name that he maybe assumed. Maybe it is not his legal name. Has asked about binding a joystick because he can't move very well with keyboard and mouse. Now, because he's saying keyboard and mouse, it pretty much twigs that he is a PC player, probably connecting through Facebook Game Room right now.
Right.
Anyways, sorry, I read chat and I get stuck. So we don't have any built-in support for controllers.
We don't have any official support for it.
But it is something that's probably doable if you're technical. I mean, basically you're creating a profile for the controller that acts as a keybind.
Yep.
So when you hit right on your controller, it's like pressing the right arrow. When you hit left on your controller, it's like pressing the left arrow.
And then one button would be number 1, one button would be number 2, so on and so forth.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So definitely, it's something you can do. I don't know how perfect the experience is. Controller support is not something that is super easy to do on a PC. The standardization is really, really poor.
Yeah, you've got your Xbox-like controllers, and you've got your PS-like controllers, and you've got all the third-party controllers.
You have your flight sim stuff. I mean, but it's not like it's just a simple like, oh, cool, we just add this API.
Yeah.
Cool, we're done. It's a ton of work, and just we don't see right now that it would benefit enough people to be. That's where we should be investing all of our engineering time.
Right, but definitely feel free to look around on your own, do some research, find out ways to do controllers, and it could work.
And
no guarantees.
If you do it, or if somebody out there who's watching the stream or who catches this later as a video has done it and wants to write a guide or make a video on how to do it, that would be super awesome. Please let us know if you do.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So next up is Fully Man, who is in chat, has asked this question via Discord. How are we doing on the lobster, real quick?
So cooking also takes stamina. I don't know why I stopped. Maybe the fishing pole ran out. Let me see. Nope, still got 3. I need 30, I think. Yeah, I need 30.
Okay. What do you get for cooking lobster?
So I believe every class has a specific food they can cook for a specific buff. I get HP and dodge rate, and these all just increase the buff as it goes up higher and higher. So you can definitely sell the food, I believe, and you can also sell the raw materials. So you can trade with each other that way.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna actually pick up fishing then. And normally I'm allergic to trade skills. Life skills? Nah, I can't do it.
That's where all the money is, dude.
You're telling
And
me.
you-
I'm
and you
crippling
wonder-
myself.
And you wonder why you're perpetually poor in the game.
Yes. But I can't do it, man. But fishing's not so bad. I could sell the fish.
And if you're really, really bored, or if you just really don't want to do it, you can do, like, pick up a gathering skill, go to your guild property, and just tap on it, and it'll just automatically collect. You don't get as much stuff, but it burns your stamina for you.
SF Darkstyle has asked, what about the people who craft hundreds of blueprints and still don't get any legendaries? That would be me. Like, I am unlucky when it comes to crafting legendaries in this game.
They've crafted 3 times more than he has in, like, half the amount of blueprints or something like that. Something stupid like that.
It is uncool. But that's RNG. I mean, it's a dice chance. It's not, hey, every blueprint we craft makes it 0.5%, closer to getting the goal. It's every time you roll the dice, and I've just been unlucky.
I'm rolling really bad.
I tend to be lucky other times, so I think it all balances out in the end. Karma has, not forsaken me, but yeah, it does suck.
Yeah.
Not having that as an option is awful.
You could try what some people have theorized, or some people believe that if you craft after a certain time, or if you do some sort of pre-crafting ritual, that helps. I don't know. If you think it helps, feel free to do it.
Yeah, but it's RNG. Pandy Payne thinks this is a terrible time to live stream. Most people are at work. Well, most people in the U.S. are at work. We start streaming at 2 p.m. Pacific when we're at work.
Yes.
Really convenient for us. But it's 5 p.m. Eastern, so maybe the East Coast is starting to get off work. It's
pretty late in the
pretty
evening.
late in Britain. In Britain, it's like 10 p.m.
Probably, or like 11. Pretty late.
Yeah, 10 p.m. I'm pretty sure, 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it's late at night there. And in, say, Myanmar, who knows? It's got to be really early in the morning.
Probably really early in the morning.
Or no, actually, it might be kind of late in the morning. It might be like 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Really? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm not that well versed in time zones.
Time travelers. Can't trust them.
Nope.
Anyways, so, there's no good time for everybody in the world. We pick 2 p.m. Because, A, it's convenient for us. B, it's a popular time that works best for a large number of people who are likely to tune in. And C, people can always watch on video.
Yep.
He's on Mountain Time, so yeah.
So like an hour ahead of us, right?
Mountain Time is an hour ahead.
Yeah. It was Mountain Central Eastern. Yep.
Okay. So now back to Foolie's question, because he's probably starting to feel forgotten.
Oh, sorry, Pandy. She. We apologize.
I did not mean to assume your gender. I'm saying that. So Foolie has asked about the status of Executioner Warriors. So before we start talking about Executioner Warriors, I want to talk about Shepherds. So you did a lot of research into Shepherds. I
played one for a while.
Yes, but you also looked at the numbers of people completing content. You were specifically looking, I think, mostly at Lords and different Lords levels. But we looked at some other data as well. And the number of Shepherds in successful groups. So if you could sort of summarize, at the lower end, where 99% of our players are at.
Right.
So everybody but the very best players in the game, what percentage of groups have a Shepherd in them?
I mean, it really depends on the content they're running, but it's really high up there. Probably close to like 100% of all groups will run with the Shepherd, especially at the earlier levels. As you progress, the only big drop-off is when you start doing some of the higher-level Lords, where you might see fewer Shepherds and more Mage Lanas.
Right. And so the reason about this is if you look at just the data from the lower end, you assume that Shepherds are crazy OP. Right? I mean, because they almost look like they're required. Every group pretty much has one. And if you look at the data later on, for the very tippy-top raiders, and I mean tippy-top, they're like, well, we could get a few more DPS by including 2 Mage Lanas and not having a Shepherd.
Right.
Right? Now, that would say that shepherds need a buff. Which one's right? So, which one's right?
They're both right.
So, class balance is super complicated, right? It's never just like, oh, every class is every bit perfectly balanced at every part of the game. When you look at scouts versus animal tamers, right?
Yeah.
And I've made the switch to animal tamer now.
Just hit the button.
Played the scout for a long time. Now I am playing a animal tamer. Animal tamers are a little bit more wanted at the very, very tippy top.
Yes.
Scouts so much stronger early.
Yes.
So much stronger. The more people you're playing with, the better an animal tamer is. Even though their buffs can only hit a certain number of people, it means your personal DPS is less necessary.
Yes.
So in 5-man content, you have to have a really good group to benefit from an animal tamer. In 10-man content, benefiting from an animal tamer is really easy. Forest Guide is great for PvP. Forest Guide had a lot of changes recently.
So we apologize that didn't make it in the patch notes. Forest Guide did get a rework. We're going to take a look at the data behind it, how many people start switching over to it, and how it's performing, and so on and so forth. It was literally last week, so we're still waiting for data to come in. Definitely something that we encourage people to try out. Definitely check out the path again, see if it's maybe something you're going to look into, or if you're interested in switching.
So Javi has made a counterpoint. He says is that the extra healing resources of Shepherd aren't that big, and the damage reduction is almost useless. And it's almost useless if you don't need it.
Yeah.
If you need it, it's not almost useless. It's pretty important. So it really has like a hard break where it's like Shepherds go from being almost mandatory to
not
a choice.
Yeah.
Not an optimal choice.
Right. A lot of these group compositions are dependent on gear. Many people who are doing a lot of this end-level content have much, much higher level gear. The assess you're looking at is probably everyone who is in it is easily in the top 100 or in a top guild. And so a lot of people who are highly engaged like to talk to each other about it, and it kind of becomes that, only these, like, shepherds are never used. But what we see, we kind of look at everyone who's playing at the same time.
Yeah, because everybody's important. Now, that doesn't mean that people in the top end aren't important. They certainly are.
Yes.
But it's not simple. We can't just balance the game for one group of people. We have to look at it for everybody.
Right. And we appreciate you bringing up that as a point, which is what it caused us to say, hey, let's take a look at it and see what's going on.
Executioner Warriors are complicated. They are not an easy class to balance. And then we have to start asking ourselves what we would call value questions. Like, well, what does it mean that they have to be in melee, and how should that reflect in how the class performs? If a class does more damage in melee, then people start shifting tactics. It's not individual class balance so much as group balance as well that we also have to consider. So we're making small changes.
On top of content design.
On top of content design.
Something has to be challenging for everyone. They got to do something here and something there, so on and so forth.
So, again, Javi is talking about healing L sets. A lot of people don't have healing L sets.
Yeah.
So it's very much where you're at in the game. Again, if you're playing for the super optimized point, you definitely have one opinion. You might have the complete opposite opinion if you're playing, a tier below in terms of...
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a question about if we change something to something else, how would it impact this third thing? Not a question we can answer at this time.
No.
Right? I mean, this is all super speculative still.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully you understand at least where we're thinking. It's something we are taking our time on changing. We understand that people would like it to be faster. But fast does not always mean good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to do one question from the chat?
Okay. So we have we've done some questions from chat,
Okay.
but
we have a couple more written down.
So
from-
SF Dark asked about Android graphics bugs. So that's a really hard question because I don't know exactly what somebody is talking about when they say Android graphics bugs. They have an idea of what they mean specifically when they're looking at saying Android's graphics bugs. Any bugs you give us, we're going to bring to the team. The more details you give, if you can say, hey, here's the bug I see in this situation after doing this, something to give us some way of maybe trying to find a repro step.
Yeah. Also, device and OS version would be great to know. On top of all this, there are over 1,000 Android devices.
Oh, no.
9,000, right? We have 9,000.
We support 8,000, I think, right now.
Like 8,009, something ridiculous.
Yeah, that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Yeah. And any information as specific as possible will definitely help us track down any of these bugs and graphics issues.
So the more you find out, the more information you can give us. Passing it off in chat or even like Twitter, not so good. Just because, we're not going to get the depth of information. Passing it off on the forum is passing it off in a help ticket, saying, hey, I don't need a response to this. Here's a bug I found. Here's the repro steps. Maybe here's, some information. That is super useful. Are we going to reduce the stamina for fishing? So fishing is a new way to generate resources.
Yes.
Right? It shares a amount of a resource pool that it uses up. But if we make it too much better than, say, harvesting plants, that is a balance issue.
Oh, I'm out of fish here. It's okay, don't worry.
And we need to take that into account.
Oh, look, there's already more fish. Yep.
So, certainly we're looking at it. We're looking at how people use it. Somebody's asking about a class swap option. Class swap is something we could theoretically do.
Yes.
We haven't made a decision. We decided earlier that it wasn't something we wanted at the time. We haven't said no forever. We've just said no for now. But we could change our minds if
That's
people,
a maybe, Fox.
yeah. If people really want it, and if we think it's good for the game, we can make it available. Okay. So Dat Pandizzle has asked about the impact of team assistance in scaling. It does not impact scaling.
Nope.
They're just
None whatsoever.
They're just bonus. That is sort of the nice thing that you get if you are running a team for taking these people with you on content maybe they wouldn't necessarily be that useful for.
Just be honest, you're carrying them. Okay. You're carrying them. But if you're an assist, then you don't get to bid. So you get your own personal loot, but you don't get to bid. So that's kind of a trade-off. Yeah. And on certain fights, if they end up with picking up something, they might explode. Or if they're on Leodor and they mess up the plus-minus symbols, they might also kill you. So that's definitely a risk that you want to take.
So Rossadell has asked about the 99% loaded issue. So there's a couple different things you can do if you hit the 99% loaded issue. Completely kill the app, restart the app, restart your phone. What I found that solved it for me the one time that I got it was switching from Wi-Fi to non-Wi-Fi and back. I don't know why that fixed it. But generally changing things up maybe helps with the issue. It could be that it just needed time. Please do let us know. Put a ticket in, that you are doing this via email so that we can figure out details, including things like your device and stuff. But just change things around on your phone. Restart your phone. Restart the app until it fixes. That's the best answer I can give you right now. That should solve the problem. I love that when people advertise their guild. Extreme is advertising in chat.
I've definitely seen that.
Much love for you guys. We have an idea maybe of a cool contest we might do in the future to give you guys a chance to advertise for your guilds. So, keep it up. And if we see that that's something you want, maybe we'll push that up in the schedule.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what else we got? Samuel Kwong.
Samuel Kwong.
He made a feature request, and it's specifically for a search button to invite a specific friend or guild member to a squad, if their list is particularly long.
Mm-hmm.
My friend's list, so short.
Short.
I'm just not a very social guy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right, but for the very social butterflies, I'm sure your friends list is, 100 people, and then your guilds are probably 200-some people, so it's really hard to scroll through a giant list of people.
Totally makes sense. Like the idea. That being said, every feature we add, takes resources. Some that are resources that things become complicated in ways that we didn't necessarily expect.
Yes.
We added in character delete. That was a much more complicated feature to add in than we were initially expecting.
Yep.
But we got it, and it's important. And then we had a little issue with some lag that we fixed. Phone is buzzing like crazy, so I'm going to take it out of my pocket after I make sure that
There's nothing.
my boss is not yelling at me. Cool. We can add features like a search button for.
We can, but it's gonna.
It's just a question of, is that what we want the most? Now,
Yep.
I really like the box that we've added recently, so that gives you loot as you level up. I think it was really cool. Certainly, people who are joining the game now particularly like it.
Yep.
Therefore, that's a feature I think was a really good one. That takes engineering time. Is that more or less important than a search function? These are the choices that our production team has to make. Haha. It's their job, not mine. we just advise.
We just advise this is a thing, and then they kind of figure out, well, we have resources to do this now and do this here, and then they kind of juggle that.
So let's see. How many fish and how much stamina?
Dude, I am getting really, really dangerously close. I only have 10 lobsters, and I am down to 53 stamina.
We may not make it on the lobsters today. We're not going to cheat on the lobsters.
Okay.
We're not lobster cheaters.
But
I want extra
as a
lobsters.
resourceful god, I have found the way to get you more stamina.
Oh,
Very cool.
awesome.
Cool. So in future live streams, we can totally cheat on stamina.
Okay.
Only on the test server. EDE asks another legendary box with jewelry only. That's interesting. We haven't decided on whether or not we want to do another legend box in the future. It's sort of a special thing.
Yeah, it was a
Collection.
special Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal.
With Shadow Starter coming up, we knew that was coming out, so it seemed like a great moment in time to do it. It's not something we want to do all the time.
Yeah.
That would make the game super pay to win.
Yeah.
Not cool. But definitely something we could do maybe very rarely.
Maybe.
Jewelry only. I don't know if that's ever the choice we'd make.
That's again a production question.
Call.
We'll definitely let them know that it's something that players have requested.
Cool.
But we'll have to see.
Cool. Fatih Basbinar. There's a letter there that's not strict, English letter.
English letters, yeah.
I don't know how it's pronounced. Not super international guy. Says, I think you need to bring only the foreign countries. You are not the foreign language. So basically what he's asking, to summarize his long question, is can we offer Crusaders of Light in other languages? And it's something we've looked into.
Yes.
Because everybody would rather play in their own language.
Right.
I read English. My reading Japanese is terrible. My reading French is bad. I don't read German at all.
Yeah.
So I get it. I have a harder time playing games in other languages.
Yes. But with a game like this, with all the text, including quest text, all kinds of chat text, all kinds of items, all the UI elements, that is a lot of text.
That's a lot of text. Now, there's ways to solve that. You hire some people, you can hire an outside agency to help with this. They can translate. So then it becomes, will it bring enough benefit to enough people to necessitate the cost? There's a second whole layer, though, right? So right now, the text strings are part of the code, right? They aren't like a separate thing that's referenced, like, oh, hey, you need to go find the answer from this other file, that would make it a lot easier in structure to localize. Then you would just say, well, put in an option for French or, Portuguese or German or Russian. All these are languages that would be super common and that we would love to talk about. We have to do all the engineering work on the back end to make something like that even possible. And then we get into the same question we had like last time, which is, is that more or less important than getting a search function?
Yeah.
Or 5 search functions? And there's a little bit of risk involved in any change you make, because any change you make can introduce a bug. So is this, given how much code it's going to impact, what is the likelihood of bugs? What is the likelihood of the severity of bugs? And is that a good risk to take? Right? So these are all questions that, again, the production department has to make. And so those are their decisions. But it is something we do talk about.
Yes.
Cool. So we've answered team assist scaling. So Fajar HRY asks, you have new server. So if you haven't seen, there was a survey in game. I think it's still in game.
It should still be in game if you haven't taken. I think it's still in there.
I think it's still in there. That was asking about people's interest in a new server and their feelings about it in general.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm not going to leave my character. I like my character very much. But
some people are looking for a fresh start.
And some people who are just starting today want to start on a more equal footing.
Yeah.
Or at least much more recent than, say, the launch servers.
Right.
So it's possible.
We'll see. So if
we like the idea of new servers. The game is built with the idea that new servers can happen in the future.
Right. It's super important to pay attention to when there's a survey, because we read all the survey results. So if you definitely see a survey, definitely take it. Share your thoughts with us, because that's important to us, what you think.
So there's a lot of questions that we have. We like to know answers. Data helps us make good decisions. That Pandizzle asked about when can I start getting lucky tickets. Lucky tickets are available. So you just go to the store, and they're right there.
I think the more specific question is they want free lucky tickets.
Of course. Everybody loves free lucky tickets. Trust me, I logged in and I'm like, man, I missed that box. That box was amazing.
Dude, the 5-minute starter box was like the best thing ever.
Yes.
You got one lucky ticket and then you had like the Prosperous gifts that you can give like other stuff from. That was amazing.
But lucky tickets aren't special.
No.
If you get them free all the time.
Yeah.
So sometimes they go, sometimes they come back. We have lots of different ways we can give them to you. We're definitely looking at ways we can give them to you free in the future, but they may not stay forever. It's something to appreciate while it's there, and when it's not there, you can wait for the next time.
Yep. We did bring Champion Trials back that one time, so it could happen.
Just we have it set so we can bring Champion Trials back almost whenever we want. Almost.
It's more of a discussion that we need to have with the team, but we'll definitely let them know that people would like more free lucky tickets.
The other question also becomes, how many activities are too many? Because if we put an activity where you could get free lucky tickets, everybody's going to want to start doing that. We already have quite a few tasks in game that you can accomplish every day. Feeling like you have to do yet another one is a lot. So, it's a decision to make. Are you ever going to introduce costume sets? So we've done a little bit. We have costume sets, but they're not like super customizable yet.
I mean, come on. Look at this.
How come you don't have that yet?
How about you buy it for me?
Okay. Well, moving on now. There we go. So for Fox's sake, we talked a little bit about bugs earlier, but please post those to the forums. I promise you I will look in 3 hours, and if it is there, I will forward it directly to the head of Crusaders of Light.
Yep.
There we
yes,
go.
we did take away agitated elementals. One thing that many people have always talked about. Oh, wah, wah, wah. I got disconnected.
Got booted.
Got booted. Let's switch to just the camera for now then.
Our secret M shipping server.
M shipping server.
Everybody else plays on M shipping, right?
Oh yeah, totally. What was I saying? Yes,
Okay,
we
there
took
we
away agitated elementals. As part of the feedback for players who kept bringing up the fact that there's just way too much stuff to do every day. We're still looking to make time spent in game more meaningful, rather than feel like that there's like a long daily grind every day that just doesn't feel meaningful to you. So that was part of the first steps that we wanted to take. Hopefully, we're going to continue these discussions with our team on how to move forward and make time in the game feel less of a grind.
It looks like M shipping is sadly deceased.
As deceased.
It's a test server, so it's not as stable as live servers.
Oh God, no! This thing is not. This thing is not stable.
There we go.
All right.
As a newcomer, what's the best farming spots farmer? The best way. It's not really so much about farming spots. It's about doing your dailies. Doing your dailies is the best way to get ahead in the game.
Right, especially now when you do the normal raids. It's very common to do 3 goblin camps. You can get really lucky. I've definitely gotten lucky and got a 240 cape drop out of there, which is really nice.
Liar.
But then I got a better thing,
Yeah.
which made me sad because my 240 cape had bloodthirst on it.
So, is there any plans to make Verity Spirit and Forest Guide viable in PvP?
Forest Guide got a rework, as we stated before.
I don't know how I don't know how viable it is in the cutting edge.
We don't know yet.
Probably not. I'm guessing that the very tippy top raid groups are not going to be like, dude, we need like 3 Forest Guides.
I think you probably just need 1. It's very much like the Tamer.
But it is an option available, and it's something that as path levels climb, leveling a second path becomes a really, really not that unreasonable option.
Yeah, it slows to a crawl. I think I'm at path level 61 or 62 now, and it's like 2 million XP.
For fuck's sake, Forest Guide Endgame is a great boost for the raid. So it sounds like maybe they are taking.
Maybe you should listen to what the fox said. I see what I did there.
Yeah. Well, for their sake, I'll let that one go.
Oh,
because it's for fuck's sake. Okay. And the last question asked by Knife that we have before we cut it off today is asking about the new class. And assume they only mean the ones coming out next, not any that are coming out after that.
Yeah.
So we can't announce it yet.
Nope. It will be coming soon. Is that enough O's?
No.
Trademark?
But we need to somehow verbalize the soon TM.
Yeah.
Soon for us, not necessarily soon for the players.
Yeah, soon for them would be like yesterday.
Yeah, or tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 at the latest.
Yeah.
We're working on getting a new class.
Couple more O's and like a TM on their
Buy
knife.
me a soundboard.
Could buy you a soundboard, and then we could just have it
can we do Darth Vader? No, except Darth Vader is soon.
we could up our production capabilities on this live stream. Not there yet, but we are working on a new class. We're working on more than one new class. We're working on releasing a new class in a future update. I can't tell you exactly when that update is. Some people have some pretty good guesses, both about what the class will be and when it will come. But it's never promised until it's announced.
Yep. No promises.
Brzezinski, you can have a shout out anytime you like. So thank you very much for watching the stream.
Yep.
And live speaker Brazil. I don't know any Portuguese.
No, I don't know either.
I am terrible at the Portuguese, so my Brazilian live streaming, which is what I'm going to ask, assume this met, would probably not be so good. But if you guys do know of any great live streamers from Brazil who are interested in streaming Crusaders of Light, please tell them to get in touch with us.
Edie is already guessing May, June.
Oh, June. June is so far.
June is really far.
Like, so far. Even May is really far.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to make you guys wait until May.
No. Of course not. All right.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, well, hey, thank you guys all so much for joining us. It's been a ton of fun. I hope you guys have gotten some good answers to your questions. Maybe not always the exact answer you're looking for, but, we tried to get all of them.
Yep. Oh, Fools.
It's like they're saying April because they want me to say, no, it's not April. And then they're going to say, is it March?
Yeah.
Is it April? Is it January? I will give you a hint. It's not April either. April is still too far. And that's where I'm going to leave it. That is the current plan, not a promise. Plan, not promise. You will not get anything more out of me at this time because our live stream's over.
Yep.
So,
all right. Cool.
This one's in the books.
Peace.
Party on, and see you guys next time.
Later, guys.